Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm terrific, man. How are you?
Bud, we've got a little new setup here.
Yeah.
We're hopefully this audio is working really well. The new producer came in and kind of played around with some things, and we'll see how it is. I feel like the shot looks better, even though it's probably just because it's a bigger screen that we're looking into.
I agree. It's probably
exactly the same on YouTube. If you're watching video, hopefully the audio is exactly the same. And if that's the case, then on with the podcast, my friend. We are here. The NBA playoffs are also here. Draymond Green is here. We've got a Mount Rushmore this week of Matt Christopher books. All you 90s babies are going to remember that. Is it 80s babies, 90s? How does that work?
I've never really known.
Like I always hear people like, "Oh, I'm an 80s baby," but they'll be like, "I'm a 90s guy." Like me, like my life, I grew up in the 90s. Yeah. I was born in 83, but I grew up in the 90s.
We were babies in the 80s, so
are we 80s babies?
The literal definition, I would think we were 80s babies, but our formidable years were in the 90s because we learned the most.
So basically, if you were a kid in the 90s, you know Matt Christopher.
Yeah.
You probably, if you're a boy or anybody that has read any sports books when you were in grade school that you had to do anything on, it's like your starter chapter books.
Yep. And if you were a kid in we'll talk about this later, but in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Is this legit? Oh, yeah. I can't wait to hear about this. So Adam did some research on Matt Christopher. I just read the books. Adam did a little extra research on this, which is perfectly done. Perfect for, I'm glad that's why Adam's on the show, to take care of all the technical things. I'm here just to talk.
Saw some stuff.
Okay. I'm here just to talk and say whatever comes off the top of my head. That being said, we also have Big Jay Oakerson's new comedy special that we will be reviewing at the end. But as always, Adam Schmidt, as we get ready to start the podcast, we are going to go with the newest, not the newest, there's a lot more new things, but we got a new Reese's that we are going to try today. This is Reese's Puffs cereal bar. This is Reese. It's just called Reese's Puffs Treats, made with real Reese's peanut butter. But I see them as cereal bars. It's almost always cereal bars. Like you get these with all kinds of different stuff.
Let me tell you, first impressions, light as a feather.
Oh, light as a feather. Yeah, for sure.
This is made of air.
So this is basically what this is like a Rice Krispie treat.
Which I'm a big fan of, by the way.
Reese's, but with Reese's and peanut butter. So these have been in the shed for a while. The shed
and then the pocket. Yeah.
In the pocket. Yeah. Apologize for that. Don't take the look of it as the thing.
No,
nice
it's
cut.
like vomit. Yeah. It looks like a vomit bar.
It looks like a vomit bar. That's exactly what it looks like.
And by the way, I've vomited on Sunday. Which is a big deal to me. If I throw up, that's big.
Wow.
Big time. Yeah.
Sick or bug? Just a bug?
I think I got a bad buffalo chicken wrap.
Buffalo chicken wrap will do it. They just don't they just don't grill that chicken enough.
Yeah, I think it's probably bad chicken. I think you're right. That was okay after that.
And there you go. Man, I hate throwing up.
It's the worst, man. And then every time in my mind, because I've heard about this, people choking when they're vomiting, like vomit getting stuck in their throat as it's coming up and them choking.
I've never heard that before.
I've heard of it. And I think about, I live by myself.
Yeah.
If I choke on my vomit and die, no one's going to know.
I mean, you hear about that when people are drunk because they're on their backs and they puke and they're blacked out and they can't move.
That's true.
It's not going to happen if you're with it. You're not drunk at home, so you're fine.
No. Drunk on ginger ale once in a while.
All
Water.
right,
so
root beer. A little bit of root beer drunk.
Chocolate milk.
The root beer drunk is my least favorite.
Delicious.
Adam Schmidt, Reese's cereal puff bar. First impressions.
Not a huge flavor hit. It doesn't punch me in the face with flavor.
Nope.
They're very airy, like we kind of figured it was going to be by the feel of it. Not bad or anything, just not that traditional Reese's power.
Right.
You know?
I'm with you on that.
I'll go real easy and go 8.8.
Whoa, below a 9.
Kind of low.
I'm going 9.4.
Okay.
It's still kind of low, but I love these things,
Yeah,
man.
not bad.
I think they're delicious.
Not bad at all.
The peanut butter that they use instead of like, or maybe it's like a peanut butter flavored marshmallow mold, whatever. I like it. All right. Nice and easy there. Adam Schmidt, I've got a question for you. We are NBA guys. We love the NBA. A lot of our fans could take it or leave it. We know. But that's really the big thing that's going on. The Reds aren't doing much. They lost again today.
They're not doing much scoring, I'll tell you that.
That's for sure.
Really quick though, how do you feel about Hunter Green signing 6 years, 53, I think?
Yeah, and getting hurt the next day?
Getting hurt the next day. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I mean,
I went to the game
like,
today, and Hunter Green was as close to me as you are.
Is that right?
We sat on the very first row right behind the dugout. We were on the dugout.
My dream seats. I've never sat there before.
Tyler Stevenson and Hunter Green are right in front of us the entire time.
How did you? I would rather sit there than the Diamond Club.
Yeah, it's great, and you can hear them talking in the dugout, every word. Bell got thrown out of the game. You can hear every word.
That was
the umpire coming back. You can hear. We actually went up to go get something to eat, so we weren't down there when he got thrown out, but you could hear the umpire when they called a balk, walk over and say didn't come set with the ball or was something like that. You can make out what's going on. And the guys in the club, in the dugout, you can hear all the chatter. You hear everything they say. Like Tyler Stevenson literally was 8 feet in front of me. And if I decided I wanted to just start talking to him, he wouldn't. I mean, it would be almost impossible for him to ignore me.
You could have spit on him.
Oh, absolutely. I could have spit over him. I could get a loogie up and get over top of it. He was so close I could spit over him.
You could spit a sunflower seed from there to pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
It would be close.
But anyway,
it depends on if the seed was still in it. If it was just the shell, probably not. That thing gets opened up, gets a little wavy in the air. But as long as I still got the aerodynamics of the closed shell with the seed in it, I think I could get it out there.
You could hit a witch's fingernail from 17 pages.
Right. I could take a what is that? I could spit the nuts off a fly.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Something to that nature.
You had courtside seats.
Basically at courtside seats.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I've dreamed of those seats.
Pretty cool. It's all about who you know.
There you go.
All about who you know. On that note,
I know you, so
yeah, well, there you go. Next time I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the NBA.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about the NBA. You know what? I got a question for you. I have a different question for you. Let's see. How do I talk? We didn't talk about this, so this will be a little off topic.
Yeah, I surprised you with the Hunter Green thing.
Yeah, and it didn't last long. We got into something totally different. So baseball team, right? The young guns on this baseball team that I coach been playing pretty well. We play one of the better ball teams in the city and tie them 14-14. Pool play, 2 pool play games, then bracket play on Sunday. Okay,
that's right. You had 2 big time games against great teams.
This weekend. Yeah. So tied 1, lost 1. So we were 0-1-1 going into bracket play. They broke the bracket into 2 different levels. We got a terrible draw. We had the hardest draw of anybody. We played 2 of the top 3. The 2 teams we played were in the finals of the upper bracket. Those were the 2 teams that we played in pool play. That being said, having the toughest draw, we get the 2 seed in the lower bracket. Lower bracket's got a whole different set of ball teams in it.
Yep.
I'm disappointed that we're not up in the upper bracket. However, the boys get a ring. They get this giant gold ring. It's as big as 3 knuckles. This thing's huge. It's insane. That's what they give the kids now when they win tournaments. They win World Series rings, like, you know what I mean, or NFL just championship rings. I feel like I've been a little disappointed in it ever since it's happened. Like I every time somebody says, "Hey, congratulations," I keep going back to, it just wasn't where I wanted to be.
It was what kind of bracket do they call it?
It was
Used
the
to be called-
lower bracket.
Okay.
I mean,
When we were kids, it was the losers bracket.
No,
the
it
low
wasn't the losers bracket.
Oh, that's right, because you
No.
have pool play.
You have
to
pool
get
play to
seeded.
get seated,
gotcha.
and they break it into two
Different thing.
brackets. There's an upper bracket and a lower bracket. So the top 5 teams play there. Next, in 6 through 10 play down in the lower bracket.
Totally different than what I was thinking.
Not a loser. It's not like bracket play happened. We lost and had to go through the losers bracket. No,
My team did that at the end of the year, my freshman season.
yeah,
We were in the losers bracket.
And we lost in that too.
Anyway,
So I feel like I need to start being a little more positive about it.
Mm.
I'm a pretty positive guy most of the time.
you are.
A little disappointed in that part, though.
Okay.
Do you feel like it's okay to be disappointed in that?
Number one.
When people were talking to me about it and saying congratulations, and I immediately get kind of like, well, appreciate it, but it wasn't, they honestly don't know what we won, what we didn't win. You know what I mean? They just know that the kids won a ring.
Does that essentially make you guys third place?
No, we came in 6th place. That's what that makes us. Now, I think that we belonged up at the top, and we would be probably, 3rd or 4th if we were up there. But so that's the thing. It's like the past year, last year we played in the upper bracket in a tournament, and we lost on a walk-off in the semis. And the other team goes up and and plays, so they get to play the championship. We don't get to play. There's a lower bracket, and the teams that we beat 18-0 won the lower bracket. And this one coach walks by as my team is just in tears because we just got walked off. And he's like, "Hey man, hey boys, I just wanted to let you know what you guys did was awesome out there. Every person, like everybody's watching you guys. I'd much rather be 3rd place in the upper than win the lower. You're just 6th. They're just 6th place." Now I always think about that.
Oh, so you guys are in
that's what I'm thinking this time. I'm like, we come out and run rule, 2 teams in the bottom half to get and it just doesn't feel right.
I think I would have felt the exact same way you do. It's totally fine to be disappointed. You have to present a different thing probably to the kids for sure.
That might be another problem I had. No, I take that back. I told the kids before the tournament, listen, we belong up. They know what's going on. They're not stupid. They know how it works. We belong up there. So that being said, there's 0 reason for us to come. And I'm not a guy that's like, we're the best, we're going to win. Like I don't pump anybody up. Everybody can beat you on any single day. Mm-hmm. And I worked that into the speech of they're coming after you because of who we are, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I let them know that, hey, that's nice. I had a kid on the team that said if we got 2nd place, he was going to bury the ring in the middle of the field. Apparently there was like a conversation between a couple kids. I didn't hear about it till afterwards, but apparently the one kid was like, if we get 2nd place in this, I'm just burying our 2nd place ring right here on the field. And I was like, that's a little crazy, but but I appreciate that mentality. We should not get that in this bracket. However, we won. Kids are excited. They get their big giant gold rings. It's all good, blah, blah, blah. I tell them great job and did what we were supposed to do in that situation. So good job. But I still am having trouble with it. I would rather come in 4th place in the upper than win the lower. I'm not here to win rings. I'm here to play good baseball.
You lost 1 game that whole tournament, right?
Yes.
And it's so really, I mean, you're not, I know the way the seating was, you're technically 6 because 6 through 11 are in that bracket.
We
right?
were 7th actually. So there was a 1-1 team. There was 2 2-0 teams, 3 2-0 teams, and 3 1-1 teams. So 2 1-1 teams were up. 1 1-1 team was the number 1 seed here. We were 1-1. And then there was a couple teams that were 0-2. The rest of the teams were all 0-2.
You played the 2 best teams.
We played probably the first and third best team, but they were both in the finals. But
Because you guys were the second best team. No? Okay.
honestly, to be honest, I think that potentially when we play, we would have been, but there was another really good team that was in that had to play one of the better teams to get to the finals. So
And you guys tied one of the best teams.
yeah, tied the team that won it, and they didn't lose another game.
There
The
you
game after we tied them, they won 31-3.
Okay. Yeah.
I kept telling the coaches on our team, I was like, I feel like I need to go to that other coach and apologize. Like, it's probably our fault that he put the stomping on you because
the losing coach. Yeah.
yeah.
You know that you want to win for sure. You know how good your team is. It's great to set that expectation. But also at that level, at the level that I coach at, you know, it's really, truly more about development.
100%. No, that's 1,000% correct.
And they
that's
played
why
well.
That's why I want to play I want to be playing more competitive baseball, not winning the next two games 12-1 both times. And you know what I mean?
But you competed against two good teams. What was the score of the game you lost?
We lost by 4.
You competed with the two of the three best teams, two of the 3 or 4 best teams, including you guys, and played well and tied the team that won the whole thing, and then ran through the rest of the thing just because of the way that tournament is set up.
Yeah.
I think I totally get being disappointed. I totally get, and you're fine to feel that way. But you guys played pretty well, and you can compete with anybody, with any of those teams, and you're good enough to probably win that whole thing. Really.
So it's okay to be a little irritated.
Absolutely.
It's okay to be a little irritated.
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
but perspective,
the kids get, the kids got something that they'll remember forever. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And you'll get another opportunity to play teams like that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got 5 more tournaments this year.
There you go. That sounds crazy.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Shut up. Hear enough of that from my in-laws.
No, I'm just kidding. That's great. This is not school baseball. These are kids that want to play high level baseball.
Yeah.
And that's why that's fine.
It's not, we're not playing, there's an area for that kind of baseball.
Absolutely.
It's not what we're doing.
I think you're totally fine to feel disappointed in that. But you also have to give yourself and the kids certainly the credit that you guys deserve.
Absolutely. They did what they were supposed to do. Anyway, that's been bugging me for a while. And then we come out and lay an egg yesterday. We get walked off again by the same team that's walked us off. I think we talked about it on this podcast. We beat a team walked us off earlier in the year, and we out hit them 12-2.
Oh, yeah.
Played that same team, out hit them again, and they walked us off in the bottom. We took the lead in the top of the 5th, and they walked us off in the bottom of the 5th.
God.
Bad defense, man. We had 5 errors. My starting pitcher gave up 8 runs, 0 earned.
Wow.
Yeah, 0 earned runs. So
that's tough.
Yes, it is.
I watched the Elder Panthers get walked off by the LaSalle Lancers last week on an error. On an error, it's the worst. Mm-hmm. It's the worst. Yep. We had 5 errors. Never had a game with 5 errors. Terrible. All right. Besides, that's past my little kids playing. Nobody cares about that except for us. Just trying to put in perspective, like different things that happen in the lives of people that they have to think about. Yeah. Speaking of championships, the NBA is going. How do you want to start this? Do you want to go series by series? Do you just want to go straight in to Sacramento and Golden State? Like, how do we want to do this? Let's do that, because I think that's going to be the biggest piece that we're going to be talking about. So let's get that started, and then we'll see how long that goes. Because then there are probably a couple of these series that we can kind of skip over. And say, hey, pretty simple, right? This is what's going on. Yeah, it's just absolutely. So you have Golden State and Sacramento. Everybody that's listening now certainly knows that it's 2-0 Sacramento already. Starting in those 2 games in Sacramento. So now it goes to Golden State. Yep. It goes to San Francisco. But game 3, the Warriors are going to be without Draymond Green. Yes, they are. Do we know why? We do know why. He got ejected from game 2. Yep. for stepping on,
Now,
stomping on, or whatever.
Sabonis was holding his leg.
Yeah.
And this is the second time that it's happened. It happened in game 1 where he was holding on to his leg. Nothing was called. So here's my Draymond. Did you hear Draymond Green talking about it?
I think I may have seen. Yeah, I think I saw a quote. It might not be the same.
I'm just not that athletic. I need somewhere where I didn't have anywhere else to put my foot. He's holding on to my foot. I didn't have anywhere else to put my foot. You're an NBA basketball player. You're not 90 years old.
Yeah.
You're fine. And if you watch it, his foot came out. He stepped on him the one time when he was holding his foot. I get that. But when his foot came out, that's when the stomp happened and he like pushed off into the air. Made it look like he pushed off. It almost looked to me a little
off with his other foot.
Yeah, it almost looked to me like it was a WWE kind of stomp, right?
Yeah.
So, but why are you doing that and flailing around while you do it? You're making it look like you're stomping on somebody. What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
And everybody's talking. So here's my question: do you feel like Sabonis should have been kicked out of that game?
No,
since he was no. I've got people there are people talking about why nothing happening to Sabonis. Why does he only get a technical? Because what he did only deserved a technical.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't reach down and stomp on someone's chest or make it look like he was literally jumping off of someone's chest. That's what he made it look like. That's his fault for doing that.
Yeah, it is.
He's got to be smarter.
And he's getting suspended. There are a lot of people that are really mad. Even there's a national NBA writer that's like, this is so wrong
that he's
it's
being
totally
suspended.
Wrong that he's being suspended.
How many games did he
got
get?
ejected? That's his punishment. He should not also get 1 game.
Okay, so they were talking about this. Everybody's been talking about this. A lot of people were saying no, he shouldn't be suspended. You're getting a few people saying yes. What's your thoughts?
I'm fine if he's not suspended. He did get ejected. I'm fine if he doesn't get suspended. Now, I wasn't sure if because I don't know if he got a technical or if he was just ejected.
No, it was double technical. I believe it was double tech. He got a flagrant 2, which is an ejection, and Sabonis got a flagrant 1, which is just a regular technical foul, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't think those were technicals at all. I thought flagrants and technicals were different. But
okay, I don't know that.
I wasn't watching the game when it happened, so I'm misinformed maybe. But either way, he got ejected, so I think that's probably enough. It's honestly his reputation is the reason for him getting ejected.
Can I tell you? It's maybe not why he got ejected.
Or, I mean,
for the suspension. Can I tell you why I think he got suspended?
Yeah,
I think he got suspended for what happened afterwards.
Because he's
screaming and yelling and jumping and cursing and jumped on the scorer's table. First off, you're in Sacramento, who's already up 1-0 on you. Why are you trying to fire up the Sacramento fans? What good are you doing by doing that? This is the constant thing that we talk about with Draymond Green. Like, this team is not as good a defensive team as they've been in the past, and now you lose Draymond Green, your best defender. I don't get it. You got to, and if you're going to complain and say people are targeting you, okay, you got a target on your back. So you got to play like you have to play like you have a target on your back. Be smarter. I get that. And the other thing that gets me, kind of irritates me, Steve Kerr. Not going to lie to you. Steve Kerr wasn't even in the huddle during the timeout while all this is going on. He was standing off to the side. Lets all this go. How can you let your player run around screaming, F-bombing fans and doing all this, jumping on a scorer's table and just be standing like nothing's going on? I'm furious at the fact that Steve Kerr never has ever done anything to Draymond Green in these situations.
I'm not. Steve Kerr has zero control over Draymond Green. He's talked about it. He's talked about it in interviews before. He can't do at the NBA level. He can't.
I guess you're right. Maybe not Steve Kerr.
Draymond's going to do.
There's got to be someone on that team that's grabbing him. Maybe not Draymond, then Steph or Clay. Somebody has to be going and saying, "Dude, get off the court. You're not helping us right now."
Yeah.
Or is everybody just scared of that he's going to turn around and punch him like Jordan Poole?
No, I don't think that's the case, but it's just Draymond. There's an understanding that when Draymond plays really well, a lot of times it's because he's getting himself worked up and getting into it with people and trash talking and complaining to the officials, aggressively and that kind of, and that gets him going, and then he starts playing well. They know he kind of has to be like that.
Needs to do that to be who he is,
to get the good parts out of him.
Okay.
It also comes with some of the bad parts like that. And they have probably a long time ago come to an understanding like this is how it's going to be. And you can talk about the 2016 finals, and he got ejected for kicking what's his name in the
Steven Adams
in the PP and
well, he got ejected. Yeah, how did that work? After he kicked Steven Adams in the PP a couple games in a row, he got one technical in the Cleveland game, and that was it. Because once he got that next one, that was it.
Yep. And that's, I was actually going to say that about this. If he got a technical in this game, in game 2, there are so many, like you get automatic
or something like that. Yeah.
After so many technicals, and then after the next one, and after 2 more or whatever. So I'm not sure where he's at with that stuff, but he may not have gotten a technical. He may have just gotten the flagrant 2 and the ejection. And maybe it is the same thing, but anyway, I didn't think it was. Anyway, he can't, and you're right. The carrying on I didn't even see him jump on the scorers table.
Jumped on the scorers table and is just
stupid. And he's getting, and I did see videos of him getting like, the finger and stuff from fans, and he's yelling back at fans.
Yeah. Why do you think? I mean,
why? I mean, he lost himself in his emotions again. And that's, he can't, at some point that hurts the team. It helps him be better sometimes as a player, because he gets himself all worked up, but at critical times like this, it also is a huge detriment to the team. So
do you think, so maybe that's where Steve Kerr comes in? Maybe my question is that where Steve Kerr comes in? He can't control him on the court. He knows he needs to get a little chippy to play at his best. But when these kind of things happen, does Steve Kerr even need to walk over and say, hey bro, this was too far. We can't have this. This hurts us. I know it's a fine line, but we've got to stay under this line. We can't go across it. Or is that not even a conversation anymore, just because of who Draymond is and how long it's been going on?
It was probably a conversation at some point, and maybe it's not anymore. Now, I've heard a couple people say this, and people have been saying it for about a year now, I think, anyway, but they're like, okay, after this is that last straw, that Draymond's gone after this year. They're going to, whatever, I don't know what his contract is, but they're either going to let him walk or trade him or whatever, or cut him or whatever you have to do. And it could be. I think they really value Draymond there. I think
he's a incredibly valuable piece to what they do.
Yeah. But at some point it's, are you going to, now you had the thing with Jordan Poole at the beginning of the year, before the year started, you have another big playoff series that you are suspended for a game that you're really going to need now because you're down 2-0.
Yep.
And you're not there. You're not there to help your team because you got carried away. He can try to talk around and make some kind of excuse for why he stomped on Domantas Sabonis, and Shaq even backed him on that too, which was surprising, but he did.
This because I think I could be wrong. He stepped on him twice. Stepped on Sabonis twice. The first time he really didn't have a choice because Sabonis still had his leg.
Yeah,
I get that. It's that extra one when your foot comes out of the arms and then you bring it back down and make it look like you're jumping off of someone's chest.
Yeah. And that's what Shaq said. He's like, what was he supposed to do? He's grabbed his leg. Where's he supposed to step? Well, you can try to pull your leg out. You can just go down to the ground. You can do something.
Do you know what you do? I'll tell you exactly what you do. Somebody's got a hold of your leg. You
look at the ref, and
you either look at the ref and do that, or you start flailing around like to make the ref see while this dude's holding your foot. Don't stomp on him. Get that could turn around, be a flagrant 1 or technical or whatever on Sabonis. Now you're shooting free throws, 2 points. you're still in the game, plus you 2 points and the ball.
Yeah.
Or one in the ball or whatever it is now. Everything's so, I feel like the rules are so different anymore. I don't know what anything is anymore.
He could have made it's a split second decision. And it's this kind of thing happens every game basically, because you're boxing out for rebound, and it's that face-to-face box out where you guys are their arms are locked up, and you might, give a little extra shove, and then he gives a little extra shove or an elbow or a forearm or whatever. It's really the same kind of thing. Or, a guy hooks you or whatever, and you get frustrated, so you kind of shove him off, or you hook him or whatever. It's that same thing. It's just it looked a lot worse because he was standing up and Sabonis was on the ground and he stepped on him, and it's a bad look. And then to throw that tantrum like that afterward
that's what got the suspension. If you ask me, I don't think the act got the suspension because it was caused because of what Sabonis did. And like you said, things like that happen all the time. You know what I mean? Entanglements and people pushing and shoving and technicals and flagrants or whatever happen in those situations all the time. I don't think that's why he got the suspension. I think the suspension came because of the theatrics that happened afterwards.
You might be right, along with his history.
Yeah.
With that stuff. Yeah.
All right. So that's now 2-0. Do you think that there is a way for them to come back?
I think it's possible, but Sacramento's good.
I mean, there's a reason they got the 2 or 3 seed in the West in a tough division. I mean, they put up points. They don't do it flashy. They got like 16 UK players, ex-UK players on their team, but they got De'Aaron Fox and they got who's the other guy? Malik Monk, who are they score, they spread the ball around, they all score, and it's nothing fancy, but they win games.
They were the best offensive team in the league this year. And then they also play some defense because Mike Brown is a defensive coach, and he's the coach of the year. And I mean, they're just good. They're good enough to beat this Warriors team, especially up 2-0 now, and it's probably going to happen.
Yep.
So I think there's a possibility that the Warriors come back. If they can get these 2 at home, then maybe. But that's going to be a tall task. You're without Draymond Green, and Sacramento's playing really well. And at times, Golden State's not, even with Draymond in there.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So let's move on from the Kings Warriors, and that's the 3-6. Let's go to the Lakers Grizzlies. Grizzlies tie that up today with a 10-point win over the Lakers, 103-93. That's now 1-1. The series is tied, going to LA now. I didn't get to see much of this game, but the Lakers put up less than 100 points. So I can pretty much tell you that means AD didn't do much. That's usually the case. I haven't looked at it, but I bet if I click on this game, I bet Anthony Davis was not what they needed. He had 13 points, 13 and 9. You got to do better.
I was watching a little bit of the game, and by the way, congratulations to Jaren Jackson Jr., who was announced as the Defensive Player of the Year today.
Hey, nice.
And he had 3 blocks in the 10 minutes I was watching, and he made it tough on Anthony Davis a couple of times too. And I mean, by the way, this win was without Ja Morant.
Yep.
We had 3 key. That's the other big thing is 3 key injuries in the first couple games of these playoffs.
Yeah.
Giannis, Ja Morant, and Tyler Hero from Miami.
Yeah.
So Ja, I don't know if he's going to be. He was out this game. I don't know if he's going to be back for next game. It sounds like it's probably going to be a game-to-game thing. Same for Giannis, although they won by 20. I don't know if he's not positive.
Yeah, it's not over yet. There's still a minute left in that game.
Okay. Well, they're up 20 with a minute left.
Yeah, there you go.
But Tyler Hero is done, basically, unless they make the finals. But so big time injuries, that stinks. You need the superstars in the games. But
they don't play again until Saturday, so he's got time to get back.
Ja Morant.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I know who you are picking in this series, but it's tied. They won a game without Ja, and now it goes back to LA. How are you feeling about that series?
I feel fine about that series.
Go
Going
ahead.
back to LA for them to I'm a realist. I think they can win. A lot of people are saying they're the real deal. But do I expect them to just sweep the number 2 seed? No, I don't expect that with or without John Morant. That's a good team. They've been getting better for 3 years now. And it's like, they just keep on coming. So no, I don't expect them to sweep. They took one on the road. Great job. Now you got to do your job at home and you'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So then moving on to so
Stay in the West. You want to go up to the top. Let's go Suns Clippers 4-5 seed. Today the Suns win. No, not today. That was yesterday.
last night, yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday the Suns won, which makes the series tied 1-1. Kawhi had a huge game 1, came out and played out of his mind. KD took, I want to say, 0 shots in the last 5 minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were talking about like he's got to be more aggressive, do a lot more. Yesterday he came out and played obviously much better. Where's
25? I want to say.
Was it 25? Yeah, I was trying to find
Devin Booker had 28 or something like that. So yeah, they got the contributions they expect from those guys, certainly in game 2. Russell Westbrook was like the story of game 1. I mean, Kawhi had 38 or whatever it was, but Russell Westbrook had a horrible shooting night,
and 4 blocks or something like that.
And yeah, a couple he was really he was guarding Kevin Durant a lot of times and was really bothering him. He did a great job on him. He got offensive rebounds late in the game. I mean, he was like hustle plays. Almost got in a fight with a Clippers fan again.
That was insane.
Or a Suns fan. I mean,
in the like, there's a bar area. These like people that got too much money can, like, there's a bar where players have to walk by. They force these guys to walk by them and just have like a rope that separates them. And you're telling me that it's just bad. The funny part, did you see the video?
Yeah.
The little kid sitting down, just wolfing down chicken fingers, like nothing happened. That was my favorite part.
He was just looking up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then his, I don't know if it was his dad or whatever. It seemed like he was with that guy, I guess, or they were close by. But the guy, as Russ is walking away, he says something like, don't talk about it, be about it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he's challenging Russ as he's.
Come on, man. You're going to take a 6'4", 6'5" absolute specimen of a human on. Come on, be real.
And then
with
obviously
2 Coors Lights in your hand.
Yeah. And then obviously you said something to trigger that reaction. And Russ has been, not great at having thick skin with fans because he's gotten into it a lot with people, but that's also okay because people shouldn't be saying the things to players as they're walking by that they do. And that guy stands up and he's like, take it like a man.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk and say something stupid to somebody walking by.
Yep.
And then just expect they have to take it.
Yeah.
That we've talked about it before.
Yep.
That whole thing about I pay a ticket. It's your job to take my abuse. I totally disagree. I always will about that. I think it's so stupid. Act like a decent human being.
Yeah.
No matter how much you've paid, no matter how much they make, I don't care. You're both human beings. You wouldn't talk like that to other people just out of nowhere.
Right.
Or maybe you would. Maybe you're that kind of person. But you're not just walking down the street taunting people like that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You're doing it because this guy plays for another team. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Stupid.
Crazy.
So who do you got? You think the Suns are going to do this?
I still think the Suns. Yeah, I do still think the
Paul
Suns.
George was getting ready to come back. From what I understand, it may not be in this series. It might be if they can make it to the next, that he could come back. I mean, that could make if Russ keeps playing the way he's playing, and you've got playoff Kawhi right now, and they call him playoff P too. So,
yeah. I mean, that'll certainly make them better, you would think. So if they do get by the Suns, then they're going to be an even tougher team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
But I do still think the Suns are probably going to win the series.
Okay. I like it. All right. We want to move on to, are we to the East? Oh no, Denver. That's easy. I mean, that's
Yeah,
2-0, and they're winning right now. I mean, that's gonna. I mean, none of us think that Denver's not going to win that, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I think they're going to be fine.
All right. So let's bring that to the East, where Bucks Heat. We've already talked about how the Bucks lost Giannis. Heat lost Tyler Hero. Heat took game 1, and then the Bucks come back tonight, take game 2. I love the Heat. I love the way they play. We'll always talk about this. However, I still think even without Giannis that this Bucks team is better.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Miami has the potential to be really good, and I think they can still be pretty good without Tyler Hero, because you insert Duncan Robinson probably more into
which you're going to get your shots up there, and you still have Jimmy Butler, who's Jimmy Butler,
and Bam Adebayo, and a bunch of guys. They have a really nice roster, but the Bucks have been the best or one of the best 2 teams in the East for the last 4 or 5 years, and they're just as good now. So Bucks are going to win that series. Cavs, Knicks.
Knicks won game 1. Knicks fans, I believe, think that they won the championship. I think they won the NBA title after game 1. So they were obviously a little tired after their ticker tape parade after game 1. These fans are so ridiculous that call into these sports talk stations with these. Those guys are ridiculous in New York. And Cavs took care of business last night. I think that's Cavs. I think the Cavs still win that. I mean, you're talking about Donovan Mitchell and Garland, and that Cavs team reminds me a lot kind of the Sacramento team. They can score with just about anybody, but it's never going to be. I guess Donovan Mitchell is more of a star than any of those guys on the Kings, but they spread it around. They play good basketball. They're going to get past the first round of this Knicks team.
I agree with you. I think the Cavs take it. Sixers, Nets.
That's an easy one. I mean, they're already up 2-0. How did the Nets even make the playoffs? I still don't understand how the Nets are even in the playoffs. Who's playing for the Nets? Can you name 5 players for the Nets right now?
Maybe. Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie. Well, I can name 2.
There you go. There's a little Curry on that team.
Oh yeah, Seth Curry. Yep.
Finney Smith is on that team.
Dorian Finney-Smith, who was traded there. Yeah. I mean, Mikal Bridges became this totally different offensive player when he got traded to the Nets.
Yeah,
so he's been
they needed somebody to score. So
yeah,
that's the funny thing about the NBA. That's what I love about the NBA. You see these guys that, like, somebody gets hurt or something, a big star gets hurt, and it's like, insert this player, and it's like they just had a huge night. And then you start realizing, okay, every player in the NBA could have a huge night at any given time. The difference is that's not easy to do 82 games. Like it's just not. There are different players that can just do that with more ease and can do it consistently. Mm-hmm. Whereas there's a lot of players, they go out and throw up 40 in a night, and they probably don't want to play basketball for 3 days because they
have 8 the next game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Mikal Bridges was actually pretty consistent with that. And they just played, I don't know, they just played better. I really like Jacques Vaughn. I really like him as a coach. He seems like he does a good job. Yeah. So he kept them afloat and got the 6th seed. But their time is running out here because the Sixers are going to win that series pretty easily and go right into Celtics Hawks. I think that's the same way. No problem with the Celtics. They're up 2-0.
Yep.
And I think they might even sweep this series.
Love it. Love it. I'm with you on that. What's next?
I think that's it, isn't it? I think we covered them all.
No, we missed one, didn't we?
Did we?
One more in the East. Oh, maybe that is all of them. Yeah, we did get. Celtics Hawks.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's
Celtics,
sorry, yeah, same
Celtics
thing.
are going to
same thing.
have no problem there.
All right, so there you go. So next week, the first round should be over by the time we get on here, or mostly over. If not, maybe there's a game. No, it's only 5. Is the first round 7-game series?
7.
Okay, so there's a chance we could have a 5. Yeah,
but it's 7.
So there you go. So we'll get into that on the next one.
Yep.
I will defer to you, Adam Schmidt, for our next segment, which is our Mount Rushmore, as the fact that you have done a little extra research. We did the Mount Rushmore of Matt Christopher books, which is a kids chapter book, like when you're first starting to read chapter books as a kid, third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, whatever that is. Sports books is what Matt Christopher wrote. At least that's all I know he wrote. Adam, you did a little extra. Let's hear a little something about our friend Matt Christopher.
When I was a kid and I was in whatever fourth or fifth grade, and I first started reading Matt Christopher books, and I found out about that and how he had a whole series of them, and they were, the being books about sports, or that being a big part of the story, is what probably drew us to those more than anything. But what I didn't realize, so I back then I probably pictured Matt Christopher as a pretty young person who had this series of books, who wrote seemed like 8 or 9 books.
Yeah, I feel like I have about 8 to 10 books at my mom and dad's house right now.
What I didn't know until just now, the man wrote 173 books.
Wow.
And his first book was released January 1952.
Wow.
1952, his last book was released August of 2016.
Man, this dude has been writing for 70 years.
What's confusing is his last book was released August 2016. The man passed away in 97. He's got a real Tupac thing going.
Yeah, he does. Interesting.
No, I imagine he had several drafts of how
I'm sure.
I mean,
and somebody obviously finished them for him.
Yeah. Or maybe he had them and they released them as is or whatever it was. But he was born in 1917.
Jeez,
this guy
these books are like one of my favorite books. I'm looking at it right now. One of my favorite books that he ever wrote was written in 1959.
Yeah.
One of the books that will be on my Mount Rushmore was written in 1959.
He didn't start releasing books till he was 35 years old.
Wow.
And so he was an old man when we were growing up reading these books, and he was still releasing them.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So that blew me away.
The thing that gets me is these I never realized he wrote a bunch of books like on real athletes as well. Like he did
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did a Mia Hamm book, and a couple others that he wrote about.
Mrs. Garcia Parra.
Mrs. Garcia Parra is exactly right. He wrote one on Steph Curry. He wrote one on Kobe Bryant. He wrote one on Michael Jordan. He wrote one on LeBron James. Now, I never read any of those.
And I'm not going to.
No, not going to either. However, this is unbelievable. I'm going through and looking at these again, and I've got them pulled up. I'm really excited for this. This dude was old as dirt. I didn't realize half of all these books that I loved are like from the number two on my list is from 1964.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was reading these when I was a kid and loved them.
The number 1 on my list is from 1969. I thought there was a new book when I read it.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. That's how I thought I thought all these were brand new. I thought Matt Christopher was a brand young person. These were all written for me.
Same. Yeah. All right. You're really excited about this, and you actually still have the books. So I do
still have the books. I wish they're all at my mom and dad's. I wish I had them now. Dad actually had them all bundled up not that long ago and asked me if I wanted them, and I said yes. Just haven't got them. Parker would love them. But number 1 on my list, I am just finding out in this exact moment in time that it was written in 1964.
Okay.
All-time favorite Matt Christopher book. Probably did 6 book reports on it because I didn't like reading books, so I would just find a book I liked and just keep doing it. Catcher with a Glass Arm. It was a classic. Yeah. Catcher with a Glass Arm. Number 2, Touchdown for Tommy. Finding out that was 1959. Unbelievable. Going from there, we'll just read some of these off. I'll just say it because it's the very first one here. This is also on there. The Kid Who Only Hit Home Runs, or The Kid Who Only Hit Homers. That was a good one. Now let's go over some of these. the Lucky Baseball Bat, Dirt Bike Racer. We've got the Captain Contest, which is soccer, Ice Magic, Tough to Tackle. That was a great one. I had that one as well. Catch That Pass, the Basket Counts. I had that one. That was a good one. Soccer Halfback. I know. Yeah, nope. The Hockey Machine, Return of the Home Run Kid. I had that one. Football Nightmare, Soccer Scoop, Legends in Sports, Michael Jordan, The Greatest Quarterback Switch, Miracle at the Plate, Dirt Bike Runaway, Soccer Duel, Soccer Heroes, Skateboard Tough, 1991. And the kid kind of looks like Tony Hawk.
There are 173 books.
Is there 100? Oh, I didn't realize there was that many. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna have to go for a while. Yeah. All right. So let's just get on with there's so many good ones.
Do you need 10 spots for this Mount Rushmore?
No, I can make this happen. I just gotta find my last one here. Hold on a second. Let me scroll through these 5,000 different books here and get my last one. Let's see here. There's Touchdown for Tommy. Okay, I got it. All right. So number 3 for me is going to be Miracle at the Plate. And number 4 is Football Fugitive, which was about
Harrison Ford and somebody killed his wife and
and then he decided to play football. So I'm going with those books as my 4 Matt Christopher books I love. I could probably go on there and give you 17 more.
Yeah.
I can tell you right off the bat. There was one more. Oh no, where'd it go? Where'd all the books go? I should have never closed it.
That's okay.
Anyway, continue. Go ahead. Oh, The Catcher's Mask. Remember that one too.
Yep.
Man Out at First. Great one. Oh, oh man. The Spy on Third Base. Dude, there's a ton of good ones in here. Oh my God, those are all such good ones.
You know what I'm excited about is you've read a whole bunch of those books, like just read off the titles just now. I don't think you've read any of the ones on my list somehow.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Touchdown for Tommy's it's cult classic.
Yeah. Cult classic. Yeah.
Catcher with the Glass Arm. I mean, that was the one. That was the book. Okay, continue. What do you got?
Here was my thing.
Well, yours were probably all basketball, right? So I had
No.
I mean, I did have a couple footballs in there, but baseball books were Matt Christopher's baseball books were my books.
Yeah. 2 of them are baseball. I have a football and a basketball.
Okay.
Here was the thing. Going through these, I recognized a lot of titles. I don't remember anything about any of the books.
Oh no, 100%. I couldn't tell you what happened in most of these books.
Okay.
But all of the ones I love, I just remember that Catcher with the Glass Arm was my favorite. I remember that being my favorite book.
And I could only recall actually reading one of them.
Oh, okay.
I probably read a couple more, but
Dude, I was in love with Matt Christopher books.
Yeah, I really liked it because the first one I ever read was Hard Drive to Short. That's number 1 on my list.
That's a great one. Hard Drive to Short.
That was number 1 on my list. I specifically remember reading that one. That's the only one I can recall reading.
Okay.
Here are the other ones that I think I read and I remember because I remember them.
The title.
Yeah, the titles. And there were I found a list that had like a little tiny description of each one or whatever. And then kind of reading through those, I was like, okay, that kind of sounds familiar. The Great Quarterback Switch.
Yep.
I think that was about some twins or something that played quarterback. Little Lefty.
I don't remember.
About
Lefty.
About a kid, small in stature,
Just
left-handed pitcher.
Little left-hander.
Yep.
Doesn't surprise me.
Tim Lincecum. Yep.
So Little Lefty. That was about a little left-hander.
That's right.
Small left-hander.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's had an umpire the other day says. Take your base. Hit off top of his foot. Hit off top of his foot. Hit off top of his foot. I said, hey, Blue, hit off top of his foot. Yeah, hit off top of his foot. Yeah, I know you said it 4 times. Nobody cares. Take your base and let's go. Come on.
That's weird.
It's like he wasn't sure of himself if it really did hit off the top of his foot. Anyway, continue.
Okay, so Hard Drive to Short, Great Quarterback Switch, Little Lefty, and basketball one called Long Shot for Paul.
Oh,
basketball book.
Like that.
Yeah, the little.
Man, that vaguely sounds familiar. I don't know if I read that one or not.
I don't even know if I read it, but I remember hearing the title a long time ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my basketball one, and those are my 4.
Nice. I love it. All right. Most people are gonna have no idea what any of that stuff is.
If you have kids between, say, 9 and 14 or 13 or
Absolutely.
something
Yeah.
like that,
Great books.
get some Matt Christopher books for them.
Yeah, there's always a lesson to be learned in it and everything else.
That's right. That's right. All right. Comedy.
Let's get into Big Jay Oakerson, bud. What
Dog
was-
Belly.
Dog Belly.
Dog Belly's the title.
Dog Belly. And I'm trying to think like Dog Belly. Oh yeah, Dog Belly.
Dog
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this. We're going to talk about this.
There's not a lot. I'm
gonna
not
be able to
saying
say
anything.
anything about it really, but I want you to watch it.
We try to keep this podcast PG. We do our best. The comedy segment comes at the end of the podcast because it's the hardest part to keep PG.
That's right.
Especially when
Most
Big
people
Jay,
are not still watching.
especially when Big Jay Oakerson is doing the comedy special for the day.
And this was performed at Skankfest, which is it's really his friend's big festival, but he's a big part of it. And it's like a whole bunch of comedians go to one city and they do all kinds of crazy things. And it's a bit of a raunchy week.
Okay.
Of-
I mean,
of
it's
comedy
called
and different-
Skankfest.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
It's
I guess I should assume. I mean, big
It's
guys
all
break
kinds of-
chairs, so it's a lot of people there by themselves.
yeah.
Was awkward that he was able to
Oh.
pick those out. Do you think there are people that seat people in certain places for him?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. I just
I don't think
question.
so.
And then, so that being said, because he was like, "Oh, the person who seated you, that was really raw. That really sucked." So I was wondering if it was like, you think they're like, "Oh, hey, you interracial couple, will you come sit here?"
I think that's by chance.
You think it's
I
just
don't think-
he's got an eye out when everything's going on. He knows who he's going to pick out. He knows the things he wants to talk about, and he knows there'll be something out there, and he just finds it.
Yeah, because he's talking about mostly one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, raunchy. Yeah, it's just very raunchy. He's a raunchy guy, and he's so descriptive. It's so funny.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about him is the words that come out of his mouth when he's describing stuff. I would never think of half of the words that he says
Yes.
to use to describe the things that he describes.
And that's why I think he's so funny.
It's 100%. It's
He-
like Theo Vaughn. Totally
yes.
different. Don't get me right. They're totally different comedians.
Yep.
But the words that Theo Vaughn uses sometimes is like, that's perfect.
Especially
that.
when you know it's coming off the top of their head somehow.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
So
So do you want to tell the people why it's called Dog Belly? What looks like dog belly? What is that looks like a dog belly, Adam?
no, they can watch it and find out.
Did you ever watch Neverland? Is that what it's called?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was talking about that's what Michael Jackson's looks like.
Oh,
either.
yeah. Michael Jackson. I got it right. Okay, so
There you go.
by the way, this is a mostly crowd work special. In Big J, most of what he does now is crowd work. But I think we've talked about this. He knows how to use crowd work to hit the jokes that he wants to tell.
Yeah, he's got the joke he wants already there. And when he's doing crowd work, a lot of it is already pre-made in his head. He's got certain questions that are going to get 1 or 2 or 3 answers, and he can turn all of those into his joke.
Yeah.
Nope. So it's pre-worked. However, there is still a lot of stuff that's off the top of the head in between the joke and the conversation. There's a whole lot of independent off the rip that goes on that I love.
Yeah.
Spaghetti. I mean, like that's off the top of your head. You're not just thinking about pulling spaghetti out. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's
So this is what I wrote down.
so hard.
Knowing that I couldn't, describe most of his jokes
Yeah.
because I just don't want to. Mixed race couple, all the stuff he did with them was really funny.
Very good. And they were fun. They were
Yeah.
good. They were good.
The Cosby joke, he had a little bit of stuff on Cosby.
Mhm.
And he was like, he was mad when
Man,
Steve
what
got
the hell
his
got
ring. And then he went into some other stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, all the Michael Jackson stuff. I wrote
Yeah.
down Michael Jackson. You just gotta watch it.
Listen, it was well done. The Michael Jackson stuff was well. I love how he's like, I just can't keep up with the news because I need to take it in before I can find the comedy in it.
Yeah. And then
And when he turns that around to put yourself, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's the king of pop back there.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like a dog belly.
Uh,
Speckled.
the other thing that I wrote down, because I was just excited about it, he talked about an interaction he had with a fan from
Liberty Township.
from the
Ohio, yeah, the Funny Bone.
from the Funny Bone. Yeah,
forgot
in-
about
in
that, yeah.
Liberty. And
Liberty, Ohio, I believe is what he called it.
yeah, Liberty Township, Ohio. And so he talks about this interaction all off of this like kind of longer joke about female police officers toward the end, and then this interaction with a fan that he had in Liberty Township, Ohio, which is the Funny Bone,
Yep.
which I will be at on Friday.
Nice.
Listen to this, because and then we'll finish this. Listen to this weekend I've got coming. Friday night, Dave Attell at the Funny Bone.
That's going to be phenomenal.
Saturday night, Dan Soder at Helium Comedy Club in Indianapolis.
Mm.
And Sunday, I'm the godfather to my niece's baptism.
Hey, how awesome is that? How
Pretty
many godfathers are you now? I mean, you
I'm,
have
I'm godfather too now, I think.
say you've got
This is gonna be godfather two
1,
on
2, 3, 4. You got 5
Yeah.
nieces and nephews.
This will only be 2 for me.
This will be man, that's
godfathers.
rough. That's rough. Only
I'm
2. Huh?
godfather 2 this weekend.
Only godfather 2. All right, sounds good. I like it. I
never
like it.
saw either one.
Which little baby girl?
Hannah.
Hannah. Okay, that is Jen's.
Jen's.
Okay,
Jen's
good.
youngest. Yep.
Good for you.
Yep.
Who is who is the oldest boy's godfather? Is it Joey? Did Joey get the first godfather?
Luke's godfather is Joe. Yeah.
So Joe got numero uno.
He
Ooh,
got
that's
well,
rough, bud.
yeah,
That's
well,
rough, dude. I mean, out of your sister's kids,
out of her kids,
he got
yes.
number 1.
That's right.
Oof.
Yeah.
Eesh. How's that feel?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll be honest with you. I really wanted Maria, but that's okay.
Who is Maria's godfather? Is it
Lauren's
one of
brother, Lauren's older brother. Yeah.
So then Jen is Maria's godmother.
Godmother. Yes. Yep.
Because you got to go one from each family. You have to. You can't pull them both out of the same family. It just doesn't
Right.
work that way. You got to go 1 and 1. You
Right.
got to go 1 and 1.
I think it's me and Amanda this weekend.
Hey, even
Yeah,
better.
My old pal Amanda.
Yeah, you guys got a long history together.
We do. We really do.
Yeah.
I've known her longer than her husband's known her.
Yes, you have. Okay. So let's get to Jay Oakerson. Adam, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to Big Jay's comedy special, first off, congratulations. That's an awesome weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
That's going to be so awesome.
Yeah.
Number 2, when this comedy special started, like the first 25 minutes, I literally at one point went, I might go 5. I might give this a 5. I was thinking like 30 minutes into it, in my head, as I'm watching it, I was going, this might be a 5 because of the way he can. It's nonstop, like just little tiny thing. It never ends.
And you know what I love about his joke? He's constantly joking the whole time. And I think you're right. Most of it is he's got a joke, a punchline basically, and he's using the audience, so interactions with the audience to get there,
to get to the story.
But I think he is also coming up with extra funny stuff on the spot too while he's doing it.
It's no doubt, because some of the things he can't say, you can't have made up ready to go.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Right.
Because you don't know
specific to those people,
specific to jobs or what she just said, the exact words she just said, like, and turning it around. You just can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Right. And I love,
although you do hear people talk about plants all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but what I love is he sits on a stool the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he does now. He's not wearing the gloves. I think we talked about that last week. He's not wearing the gloves anymore.
Got a little pink in his hair now, which is a little weird.
Yeah. He does that a lot, but Yeah, I think he had extra
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You ever see any old Big Jay Oakerson? Like he had really long
Yes.
hair. Like that dude he had to
he
be
was even fatter, and he had the real, like, the light
chin strap.
chin strap.
Yep.
He was
the
he
thin
came
chin
he
strap,
came up,
long hair.
yeah, he came up doing a lot of like black rooms.
Mhm.
He came up doing a lot of black shows, and he talks all the time about how he really pandered to that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
He would wear FUBU outfits head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I really wasn't that guy,
Yeah.
but I did that because that's what I thought I needed to do to get
To get the laugh.
trust or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he did look a lot different a while ago.
Yeah.
Um,
And then he turned
Anyway.
into what like his last special we did. It had like got like a gore or something like that was in the background playing. Like that's more his metal kind of seems to be more his thing. Maybe.
And you know what's crazy? He looks like that. He looks like he's a metalhead, and he's rock and roll guy. He's got the wallet chain. He's got the long. He wears the huge jean shorts that are 3/4 or whatever. Big hoodies all the time. That's what he wears all the time. Covered in tattoos, piercings. He is a different guy. Like if you like, I listen to the Bonfire.
Oh, the
every day,
Bonfire
so
podcast. Yeah.
he's not like, he likes all kinds of music. He likes soft rock and yacht rock, and like he knows words to every kind of different song. And he's like, he talks about getting into different scenarios in his life and stuff. And he's like pretty gentle guy a lot of times. And like
Definitely see that. And he talks about that in his special. Like, guys, this isn't me. Like what I'm talking about here, just know that this isn't me, right? This is a joke. It's comedy. Calm down, right? Like he said, now in my life, I take a step back. I'm a different person than I was. Now, comedy, on the other hand, he's like, I'm still 100% all out raunchy. He don't care, but he doesn't say certain things like going to these kind of bars or going to that kind of bar. I love that about him. I love that. And I love the fact that he has his own persona on stage. Like, it's not like this, like Big J's probably still part of that. Yeah, that's got some Jay Oakerson there. But Big Jay Oakerson, just a hair on the over the top side, which it's got to be a lot of fun for him.
Comedy Jay Oakerson is definitely
got to be a lot of fun.
Regular, Jay Oakerson. Anyway, so but I was gonna say, I like how like calm and relaxed he is, and he's like, you throw out a punchline like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hilarious, and he's not like hitting it hard all the time.
He does giggle at himself a lot. I love his giggle. His little giggle is funny.
Yeah, because he'll say something like super, sexual, out like a crazy amount to a person sitting right in front of him about the person sitting next
right
to them.
next to him, exactly.
and then he waits for a second. He's like, and then he kind of like laughs about how crazy that
the fact
was.
that he just did it.
Yeah,
he even said it in this special. He's like, you can't say that anywhere. You can't. I can't just walk up to somebody in the street and say that. It's weird what people will say inside of this comedy show room.
Yeah.
When he asked the couple that broke up, they were there together and they just broke up like 3 days ago, or they just moved out of each other. And he's like, oh, you don't know what kind of who you're getting tonight. Like you're getting a whole different Evan. Like, yeah, this isn't the same Evan as you had the other. And this is a totally different guy. Anyway, it's hard to just talk about this without getting too raunchy. So anyway, what I was saying was, I was ready to give it a 5. Like I was ready. There was a good 5-10 minutes in there that maybe not slowed down, but didn't hit me as hard. Like you've got to have me cracking up laughing for an hour. I'm going to go with a 4.7.
7. That's a good score. That's a very good score.
It's a really high score. That's a really high score. That is top 5%, I would say.
4.5. That's what I had written down.
4.5?
4.5.
That's right there. Same way. Real high score. Big J that dude is so good.
So funny.
So good. And that's the guy that you'll never, like what we always talk about with comedians that keep putting out stuff, and the bigger they get, sometimes the worse their comedy gets because they lose that roots of what made funny stuff so funny, which is the everyday man stuff.
Yep.
And they lose that when they start making a ton of money, you know. I don't see Big J ever losing what he does. Like Big
I
J
agree.
will always be the way he is, and no matter how much money he has, what he's got going on.
Yeah, I agree.
The
He's
COVID
really funny.
stuff with his old lady, and don't ever ask a friend how to spice it back up. Like that stuff. Oh my God, he's so funny.
I'm sure I talked about it on this podcast, but 9-10 months ago, maybe I saw
Any of
this.
this in there? Any of it?
He did the same thing. He did the crowd work the whole time.
Yeah.
I was front row.
Right. And you got a little piece of it.
Yep.
You got a little touch of it. I remember
did.
that. I remember that.
I was there with my buddy, and he asked us if we've ever seen each other naked. And so that was fun for me.
So here's the deal. So like for me, that's my dream, right? Like that's my dream.
Yeah.
Now I get to have this fun interaction.
If I was there with you, you would have been like, "Yeah."
I would have said no, but God, I want to. That's what I would have said. I got right away. And then, you know, that's a conversation starter. Let's have some fun with it, right? Like I'm ready to have some fun. You're up there making stuff up, being funny. Let me help you, help me, help you, help me, help you.
Yeah, and it probably would have been helpful if I would have said yes or something. I said no, and and I forget where he went with it.
Yeah.
I think he said something like, "Oh, that's surprising," or "That's crazy," or something like
Yeah,
that. And then he went into something else.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's what happened when I was in the front row for Big Jay Oakerson. Yep.
How about you?
I've seen him twice. I've seen him live twice because I saw him at Bert's minor league baseball tour in Dayton too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that.
Yep. This weekend will be my third time seeing Dave Attell in person.
Nice. David Tell's good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
Yep.
Another guy. That's a lot. Like no matter how much money that guy ever makes, he's gonna be him, and it's just who he is. I don't feel like that's ever gonna change.
Nope. He chain smokes, and he wears the same jacket and jeans and hat everywhere all the time, and he loves being that, like a club comic. He doesn't even want to work theaters, I don't think.
Sure, I believe that.
He wants to do clubs because it's like that.
It's more intimate. He can have he's more of an intimate comic, right? He doesn't. His comedy probably doesn't work nearly as good in a coliseum.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but and that's likable. I mean, I like that about him.
Absolutely. All right, Adam. So let's talk about next week, bud. What are we going to? Do you have a Mount Rushmore prepared for next week?
I do. So Chris, we have what day is it? The NFL draft is coming up here.
Yes.
That is, I'm trying to figure out what day.
Thursday. Next, is it this Thursday? Is it next Thursday? It's coming. It's really close.
Yes. So I think it's next week. Sorry, I'm looking up. Yeah, date, and it is Thursday, April 27th. That's next week.
Yeah,
next Thursday. So this will be perfect. Mount Rushmore of all-time number one overall picks in the NFL draft.
Wow. Okay. I like this. The number one overall pick part is the best part.
Yeah. And I feel like we can probably do this for baseball and basketball too in the future. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
And we never really cover the draft here. But so this will be our way of covering the draft a little bit, sort of.
Yeah, that's going to be the best thing that we do for the draft. That's for sure. Until Andre Edwards comes on and tells us what happened with the Reds.
Right. Bengals.
Or the Bengals. All right, Adam, I'm going to go to Netflix.
Yep.
And chill. There's 3 women on the top of my Netflix that have specials out.
Okay.
Leanne Morgan is good. I don't know Celeste Barber, and of course there is Monique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to skip the obvious. I'm going to go away from Monique. I'm going to go with Leanne Morgan. I'm Every Woman.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to go with. I think the Monique one's probably good because she's funny, but I'm going Leanne Morgan. I'm Every Woman on Netflix.
Since you didn't pick it, we
Wait till
might-
next week. We'll
might
see.
be able to do it.
You never know what comes up. There's a lot of good
I
comedy
saw like the
specials out there.
first 10 minutes of the Monique one,
Yeah.
but I'll hold off just in case we do it in the future.
All right. You can say, let's not do it. If that's what it is, and you want to say, I saw the first 10 minutes, let's just skip it. I'm totally fine with that.
Let's just skip it.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Let's just skip it. We'll skip it. I'll watch it on my own, or we can just skip it.
We've had specials that we've watched that were like, I this might be the most cursing I've ever heard at one time.
Oh, wow.
Monique broke the record.
Wow.
And it's
Holy
distracting. It's
cow.
not even funny because it's so distracting.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
anyway,
That's
I was
tough.
disappointed in that. But anyway, Leanne Morgan. I think I've seen the trailer. Looks good. Can't wait.
I like it.
What's the title?
I'm every woman.
I'm every woman. That's it. It's all in me.
It's all in me. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what they say.
Whoa,
Whoa,
whoa. All right. Maybe
Who
we'll-
is that?
maybe
Is
we'll
that
signal
Whitney
back.
Houston?
No, that's
I don't know. I'm terrible with
is it
that.
Shaka Khan. I should know that.
I mean, it's your music, man.
It
That's
is
your,
my music.
That's your that's
Yeah.
your brand, bro.
Yeah. Oh no, it is Whitney Houston.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got
I
it
don't know.
right.
Thinking,
Nice
yeah.
job, Chris.
I know.
I never
I-
get.
I call myself a
stuff right.
Whitney Houston enthusiast.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was wrong about that.
Yeah, there you
call.
go. Have you seen Whitney, the movie?
No, I haven't yet. I will, but I haven't yet.
Okay, you'll wait till it comes on Netflix.
Was that on HBO or something?
I don't know. I thought it was in the movie theaters because I saw the
Oh.
preview when I was
Oh,
in
it
the
was.
theaters.
It was because there was one time I was actually going to go see it, and then we decided to do something else, or it got too late or something like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I will see that.
Okay. That sounds good. So we've got the Mount Rushmore of number one draft picks. We have Leanne Morgan, I'm every woman. For comedy. And then we're gonna have plenty more playoff basketball and maybe a little bit of NFL. Maybe we try to get Andre on after the draft and see where we're at free agent and draft wise with our Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. I'll let you know how the comedy shows go.
Very excited to hear about the comedy shows. Very excited. All right, man. Well, until next time, don't forget to turn your headlights on.